years.
So whereas other towns have not gone for 3 years without
Once again, I think Sarah's done an excellent job, because I think she took over a mess.
Thank you, I agree.
I really do. I applaud her.
I agree.
It's just that I want to see it come to an end, and what I want is honesty.
Nobody more than me.
And I want honesty. We've been told multiple things in the last 5 years.
Andy, with all due respect to the fellow members of the council here, I have seen no evidence whatsoever to suggest that this pass-through was implemented as a result of infrastructure charges. What actually happened, and I followed the discussion, what actually happened was they realized that the water sewer utility was in deficit. And as we've discussed in the past, those of you who have been here, we've been over this ground over and over again. You can't have, our water utility must be self-liquidating. It cannot be in deficit. If it's in deficit, then you have to raise the monies in the following year's general fund, which would incur taxes. So what the council did at the time, when they realized that they were in bankruptcy, in essence, they put through an emergency pass-through to raise the revenue to take it out of bankruptcy. That's why it's created the rhetoric about this infrastructure stuff is nothing more than that, rhetoric.
Thank you, John. Patty?
Excuse me?
It is true that they did emergency the $20 because they were hit with a bill from, and it's in the utility budget, which can be Oprah or whatever. The utility budget shows that year that they put the $20 surcharge, that the operating expenses, because Monmouth County came down and gave us a whammy. Well, not us, because none of us were up here, but
us.
Yeah, and the only way they could figure it out to deal with it, they didn't know if it was going to be a 1-year charge and they said $20, and it's there. I went over the budget. There's no way we're going to be able to. I mean, unless we roll that into the base pay, but that is now, unfortunately, I believe, going to be our base pay of our water.
Thanks, Patty. Rich?
All rhetoric aside, I think this has been a useful discussion. Fact of the matter is, everybody sits around in town. I knocked on I don't know how many doors this year, and everyone asked me that, saying, "What's this $20 thing?" Right. I think you have the right solution. I think we should just fold it into the rate and move on and end it. End this discussion.
Yeah, we were working.
And our utility group will do it.
Yeah, when we were doing when we were working with Bob Allison, we were doing different ways. We didn't want the seniors to actually, the people that, especially the snowbirds that go down.
It's unfair to an older couple.
Right. So we are trying
to pay the $20 when a young family with 5 kids.
There's a lot of different equational ways to do it, and that's what we were trying to come up with.
But it would be fair to fold it into the rate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's the fairest resolution. Right.
But that we did really kind of agree on, is that we were going to have to just get that out of the picture.
Okay, I have one more thing. I saw a little...
One more thing, Andy, about that $20. I was on the council when I went through. I was told it was only temporary, it was going to get rid of it. That's why I
remember.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
There's never been a government tax.
So now it has to be rolled. Now it has to be rolled into the account now.
Yeah. Okay. You said before there was a little tit for tat between you two about cronyism. And you said to John, "Would you like me to name your cronies?" No. And he was. Nobody wants to name.
You know what?
Andy, excuse me, we're not going to get into that. No, we're not getting into that. Why? What's the point?
Something else.
What's the point?
Why are you trying to stifle my voice?
I'm not trying to stifle your voice.
You're saying we're not going to get into that. I asked the question to them. Am I not allowed to ask the council? I'm sorry. Sorry, Mayor.
John.
It was part of the business, so it was discussed.
If you want to ask them about cronyism, but I just don't see that that's relevant to our discussion here tonight.
Why not? If they're talking about it,
I guess maybe I'm wrong. Well, go ahead, ask your question. Maybe I'm wrong. But I don't know
what
that.
I saw was John said there's cronyism. Butch said to him, "I think you have some cronyism."
Accusing
I
him.
just wanted to know what it was.
That's not what I said. What I said was there were people here who got to this dais based upon a charge against their opponents in an election that their opponents had engaged in cronyism.
Right.
Okay? I've never made that charge to anybody. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy about this appointment because it is hypocritical.
Okay. And then
politics. I disagree. Sarah and I both interviewed Tracy Armstrong. She is not Gary McLean. Gary McLean is a member in a huge firm, and we interviewed several people. And it wasn't just, and she is a heavy hitter that we want. We've made it very clear, I want very clear that I want a heavy hitter personnel labor attorney for certain reasons. And she's
also
able to do
Well,
that.
excuse me,
And
Tom?
when Mr. Lane was up for discussion, we had a variety of people to look at. It is kind of an important position. So I felt, that's why I voted no, I felt uncomfortable.
how many did you vote on, Tom?
I voted for Mr. Lane.
You voted for one.
Right.
One person was put forward. And this is the same way.
Mr. Lane?
Right. But one person was put forward for you to vote on. There wasn't, how many people were put
I
forward?
remember bylaws we had.
Yeah, but you, and when you made a decision, somebody, one person was put forward. You didn't have 5 people to vote for.
I think we had a choice.
Mayor?
Are you finished? Are you finished?
Andy, to your point, I think Mr. Lewis had it right. It's called, excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Can't hear you.
To your point, I think you had it right. I think Mr. Lewis had it right. This is politics. The fact of the matter is we're here. We have to do the town's business. The most important thing is to move forward doing the town's business. You'll hear things, I guess, from time to time. I don't think it's useful to sit here and, talk about cronyism or any other such thing. We have to move forward on the town's business, and that's the most important thing that we'll do here.
I absolutely agree, and I didn't bring up the cronyism.
I understand that, sir.
And I just, and you know what Mr. Lewis said was true.
I agree.
Politics is to hire your friends, but we want to do it the cheapest, hire the cheapest
And this
and
is
the
not the
best.
cheapest.
Well, do you know what, I'm not saying it is or isn't, I'm just saying that's what we should be paying.
The cost per hour for our labor attorney, from the current labor attorney to the new labor attorney, is going up.
Well,
But
As a
you
result
want
of
to go
hiring
attorney.
friends.
Sometimes, but and then John, in all honesty, John, sometimes better costs more.
I had problems with the prior.
No, or I don't know.
We're gonna find
He
out.
wasn't responsive, wasn't getting things that I had requested done. I have stuff that I want to see as far as, controlling our costs on our longevity and everything else. I asked questions and I wasn't getting a response. And I want somebody is going to be responsive, that's going to help me and help all of our council with the hard decisions that we have to make because of our labor costs.
Quite frankly,
If they're
I
not
think this-
responsive, we'll change them again.
I think this council and mayor have done an excellent job in the last year or two in getting costs down, getting things organized, doing things right. I really do. But and it's great. It's democracy. You fight back and forth, you argue, but if you come out with a solution, with a well-run town, it seems much better run now than it was 4 or 5 years ago. So,
Especially in
Thank
the
you.
last 6 weeks. It's been amazing.
Amen.
Thank you.
Have we finished on cronyism?
yes.
Could I have a motion, please, to close the voice of the public?
May I make that motion?
One more.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Martone.
Thank you.